The lights of the rock world had dimmed before, but few moments stunned fans like the news that broke on 22 July 2025. Ozzy Osbourne, the self-proclaimed Prince of Darkness, was gone at 76. Tributes poured in, yet one post stood out. A short farewell from Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin's elusive guitar wizard. It read, "To dear Ozzy, rest in peace." Nothing more. No apology, no explanation, just a final handshake across a lifetime of rivalry. Why did these two titans spend half a century circling each other like wary lions, almost never sharing a stage and rarely a kind word? The answer twists through addiction, ego, shattered friendships, and one last whispered secret that Page only hinted at days before Ozzy died. But before the shakeups and shock headlines, they were simply two kids from England obsessed with volume. Late 1960s Britain was a noisy place. Page, already a seasoned session ace, built Led Zeppelin around precision, layering complex riffs like brickwork. Ozzy fronted the rough-edged Earth, soon renamed Black Sabbath, where raw power trumped finesse. Critics praised Zeppelin's sophistication and scoffed at Sabbath as primitive, a jab Ozzy never forgot. By 1973, Zeppelin were minting gold records faster than the presses could cool. Sabbath, touring the same arenas, discovered that every backstage conversation eventually drifted to Page's latest guitar trick. Ozzy felt invisible, and his resentment fermented in beer-soaked hotel rooms. Page, hearing Sabbath called accidental pioneers, quietly agreed and let the gulf widen. One autumn night in 1973, members of both bands wandered into Morgan Studios. Bonham jumped behind Sabbath's kit, riffs flew, but no tape rolled. Legend says the session birthed a monstrous hybrid track. Bill Ward later insisted, "Nothing was recorded, we were just fooling around." The rumor lived on, fueling fan theories that a secret Page Iommi masterpiece lay in a vault. Page rehearsed like a watchmaker, cataloging every chord. Ozzy brawled with bandmates, blew paychecks on booze, and barely remembered lyrics. Where Zeppelin's tours ran on tight schedules, Sabbath's collapsed into missed flights and forgotten cues. The contrast became a private joke among road crews. Zeppelin arrived with a blueprint, Sabbath with bail money. Ozzy's spiraling substance habit hit bottom. In spring 1979, Sabbath fired their own founder and voice. He staggered into isolation, convinced his career was finished. Page watched from afar, saying in later years that Ozzy had become the ghost of every warning poster in a clinic. Yet the warning didn't save Zeppelin. Bonham's death in 1980 shattered the group, ending their reign overnight. With help from Sharon Arden, soon Sharon Osbourne, he poured rage into Blizzard of Oz, 1980. The record sold millions, proving the washed-up addict could still sing circles around younger bands. Meanwhile, Page withdrew, nursing grief and heroin rumors. Competing headlines announced Ozzy's Encore and Zeppelin finished. The role reversal bruised Page's pride more than he ever admitted. 40 decades later, Ozzy phoned Page, inviting him to guest on Patient Number 9. Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck had already said yes. Page said nothing. According to Ozzy, maybe he'd lost his phone or something. Page later told Classic Rock he refused to trade files online. He only records face-to-face. The silence rekindled every old wound. Ozzy never forgave Sabbath's guitarist for kicking him out. Reunions in 1997, 2012, and 2017 felt cordial on stage, but icy backstage. Iommi once joked, "Working with Ozzy is like hugging a chainsaw, possible but risky." Ozzy in turn described Iommi as a control freak who stole my band. The grudge matured into a cold professional truce that fooled no one. Dio's operatic voice and modest height made him an easy target. Ozzy mocked him as a choir boy on a milk crate, while Dio shot back that Ozzy possessed zero musical chops. Fans split into two warring camps, those who worshipped heaven and hell, and those who screamed for war pigs. Even when Dio passed in 2010, the feud echoed in tribute posts and comment threads. During Ozzfest 2005, Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson slammed Ozzy for using an auto cue and accused him of turning metal into reality TV. Sharon struck back mid-set, cutting power and unleashing volunteers who pelted Maiden with eggs. Chaos ruled, footage went viral, and Dickinson dubbed the Osbournes a circus. Almost 20 years later, Sharon still calls him a effing a-hole. Sharon rescued Ozzy from ruin, managed his solo career, and later revealed on TV that she once threw all his clothes on the lawn, and his bleep went with them. Infidelity scandals peaked in 2016 when Ozzy's fling with a hairstylist hit tabloids. They separated, then reunited after counseling, another public cliffhanger that only boosted ratings for the Osbournes. Jack and Kelly Osbourne fought their own fights with addiction, depression, and the strange fame that comes from arguing in your pajamas on MTV. Each later said the show paid the bills, but mangled their sense of normal life. Through it all, Ozzy shuffled through the house mumbling jokes that sometimes hid deeper storms.
A catastrophic ATV crash in 2003 wrecked Ozzy's spine. A fall in 2019 re-injured the same vertebrae, leading to multiple surgeries, infections, and mobility loss. In 2020, he revealed a Parkinson's diagnosis, calling it a real kick in the nuts. By 2023, he axed Tuo's tour plans, telling fans he couldn't deal with the travel. Yet he swore to sing again, even if seated in a chair. Billed as Back to the Beginning, Ozzy's final show in Birmingham featured Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and TikTok rocker Youngblood. Wheelchair-bound but grinning, Ozzy belted Paranoid while £190 million in charity pledges flashed on the arena screens. Fans believed the legend had cheated fate again. News broke that Ozzy had died at home after complications linked to Parkinson's and spinal damage. Musicians worldwide posted memories, but Page's tribute was strikingly brief. Some saw affection, others sensed unfinished business. His earlier interviews had hinted that Ozzy's life was the loudest cautionary tale in rock, haunting praise or gentle scolding. Fans debated while the funeral plans remained private. He has long despised remote recording, saying, "I never went into music to email solos." He watched friends vanish to addiction, Bonham, John Entwistle, Jeff Beck, and feared repeating the pattern. In 2024, he told a podcast he was done glamorizing self-destruction. Listeners interpreted that as a jab at Ozzy's TV-friendly chaos. Whether direct or not, the remark hardened an invisible wall between them. Unconfirmed reports claim Ozzy left Page a voice message 2 days before his death. One source alleges Ozzy said, "Don't let the music die with us." Page has neither confirmed nor denied the call, fueling conspiracy theories that a final collaboration track exists. Without proof, the rumor joins the Black Zeppelin myth in rock's attic of lost legends. Page refined the blueprint for hard rock, proving heavy music could be as intricate as classical composition. Ozzy embodied survival, turning every collapse into a comeback anthem. Put together, their stories revealed the strange physics of fame. Discipline forged Zeppelin's glory, chaos forged Ozzy's legend, and the collision of both forged the mythology fans still argue about at 3 a.m. Rest in peace. In Page's world, brevity speaks volumes. Perhaps it was respect, perhaps regret for jokes never shared, phone calls never returned, solos never traded. Or maybe it was Page's final warning to new musicians. Talent survives, but only discipline tells the full story. Ozzy's tale is thrilling, tragic, and impossible to ignore, but Page's silence might be the deeper echo. The shock of Ozzy's farewell and Page's brief tribute didn't die with the funeral flowers. It charged the next wave of rock like a live wire. In rehearsal rooms from Los Angeles to Jakarta, young bands hit record with fresh urgency, convinced that any riff could vanish if left unheard. TikTok artist Luna Vale posted a 12-bar homage that stitched Page-style double tracking to Ozzy's shout-along choruses, and within a week it topped 50 million views. Swedish occult rockers Ghost opened their 2026 tour with a mashup of Stairway to Heaven and Crazy Train, proving the unlikely pair still ruled modern merch tables. Even pop-punk outfits name-checked them. One London trio titled its debut EP Blueprints and Chaos in a thinly veiled nod. Podcast hosts analyzed Page's discipline versus danger lesson, warning newcomers that viral fame means nothing if you burn out before the second album. Streaming platforms pushed remastered box sets, while conspiracy threads hunted that rumored Page-Ozzy voicemail like modern Holy Grail. In classrooms, music teachers found that mentioning Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath could still snap teens awake faster than caffeine. 50-plus years after two Birmingham lads cranked their amps, their strange orbits keeps pulling brand new satellites into rock's ever-growing galaxy. Proof that legends never really clock out, they just hand the stage lights to whoever dares play next. The story still refuses to sit quietly on a shelf marked history. Tech firms now chase the holy grail of rock nostalgia, fully immersive concerts starring musicians who no longer tour, or in Ozzy's case, no longer breathe. One London startup says its VR engine can rebuild a 1970s Zeppelin set down to Bonham's sweat flying off to cymbals. Meanwhile, Ozzy's estate has greenlit early tests for a hologram tour that stitches together every isolated vocal track he ever cut, letting fans cheer a digital Prince of Darkness as he belts Mr. Crowley under laser lights that never existed in the 70s. Purists scream sacrilege, yet presale tokens vanish in seconds. Rumors swirl that Page is sorting through reels of unheard riffs, debating whether to drop them as NFTs, vinyl box sets, or a surprise upload at midnight. A leaked memo hints at a possible charity release named Echoes of the Yardbirds, tying his first band to his last public act. Ozzy's camp counters with whispers of a documentary built around that mysterious final voicemail, if it exists. Each tease reignites the old rivalry in comment threads worldwide, proving that in the digital age, legends don't retire, they reboot. If rock history teaches anything, it's that endings are rarely final. Unheard tapes surface, lost interviews leak, and someone always discovers a dusty riff that rewrites the saga. For now, the record stands. Jimmy Page and Ozzy Osbourne spent 50 years orbiting each other, tied together by admiration and pushed apart by everything they feared in one another. One built cathedrals of sound, the other set them on fire. Both changed music forever. And somewhere in the smoke between their worlds, a truth remains half told, waiting for the next brave soul to press record.